Forward TV. The world is thinking.
And if we examine the language that's used to describe this concept of post-Zionism and why it would lead to a better Israel, or a different Israel at least, they rely on concepts such as pluralism, multiculturalism, human rights, which are all imported from contemporary Western socio-political parlance. But they do not have any specific political context, or they're not embedded in a larger political project. They are used completely as abstract notions and somehow reflect the wishful thinking of a particular class of leftists in Israel that they can reshape Israel by this engagement with these ideas. But these ideas in and of themselves could also be dangerous. If we take the notion of multiculturalism, for example, which is something the West I think, have experimented with, and the way it plays out in Israel is not only seen as the way to orchestrate the relationship between Jews and Arabs within Israel, but it's also now a way to orchestrating relationship between one Jewish group and another. For example, the attitude towards immigrants from Arab countries, Jewish immigrants from Arab countries, or immigrants from the former Soviet Union is characteristic of that, where there's no longer the idea of a greater collective. It's more about this orchestration between relationships between different cultural groups. And if you look, for example, what happened about a week ago in the negotiations between Levni and Shah's party, and both parties claimed that the negotiations failed because of these great ideals, refusing to put Jerusalem on negotiation table and all of that. It was the far more mundane issue of child stipends. And it's really like a parody of the culture wars that we see in America and other Western countries, whereby if you like, politics becomes this real mundane issue of discussing budgets and policies, and forgets completely any kind of grander vision. So what I tried to say is, in both kind of the behavior of the political elites in Israel, both in power and outside, there is a lack of any kind of conceptual framework or a political project today, and there's much more either pragmatic or a wishful desire for transforming things. Why is that problematic? Very quickly, on two levels. One, in terms of the relationship of Israel to its neighbors. We've seen in 2006 a catastrophic confrontation between Israel and Hezbollah, which was catastrophic for both countries. And it was an illustration of when violence becomes an end of itself and is not backed up by any specific political ideas or political project or political aims, as would have been characteristic of all Israel's wars in the past. Even the catastrophic invasion of Lebanon in 1982, Sharon had a clear idea of transforming the whole Middle East by this crazy idea, but it was driven by a very clear political idea. Today, because of the lack of that political framework, unfortunately what happens is violence escalates out of any control, and nobody knows why it should stop or when can it stop, and this is quite detrimental. It's also